all things considered, it was okay. It was okay yesterday. I don't think I had too many complaints. I think there was just a couple times where on their rotates they got cut out. I still think OG had the better macro just from the initial eye test so far. But I think Troopers are playing very decently at the moment.
They are cracking on against Flash. Win goes down next. Doctors across the way, and you do need to be careful, Hydro. Oh, okay. Does survive another peek. I thought he was going to get shot down there. But Tops is hiding in the corner for now. The Rippers have been spotted. One on the downstairs, one on the upstairs, and Harsh has to hit the deck. Tops nearly with the transfer there. Not quite able to get that second, but that is going to slow things down. Give him time potentially to bring Win back in. Drops back behind the wall and will initiate that res blank. So looks like they're coming straight back as well with the regroup coming through from Bose. Steps out against Hydro, and Tops is giving them the runaround. True Rippers don't know how to handle this guy. Tops is on a tear.
Yeah, I'll give it the Hydro. That guy will fight. That guy will fight. He's taken some pretty good pushes in the past. That one was slightly overzealous there. Does get punished for it. But for Troopers, they do have a player they're sending wide, so you sort of want to try and get as much value out of this as possible, whilst still, either losing this fight quick or winning it quick, because Jelly really does want to pick those players back up again. But he gets knocked off in the distance, which now makes life very difficult for True Rippers. Oh dear, this is actually very bad now.
Oh, really tough situation. I mean, for Harsh, the main goal right now should be to leave this engagement, right? Should be disengage, get away, get to a recall beacon. With your outpost taken down, GK and Team Flash have been able to control the closest recall beacon on that northwest side. So a really rough situation. Bringing back KO, though, is going to help a lot, right? Playing as two, you can leave a little bit more effectively. For Flash, though, they're going to be aware now that GK have moved in from that north side, and it could be a multi-way engagement. As the Arena lose one, Nuclear Zone able to pick that one up towards Hemetown. And a lot of other teams have actually moved towards the zone, all the way down on that south edge blank, and they have put themselves slap bang in the middle.
For Rhythm Kai losing a player is just, it's annoying. It's very annoying. I think this is happening so much at the moment. I think some of the early rotates towards center circle, maybe a little bit aggressive at times and slightly lacking information. And they're just hoping that they get in with 4 players. It is annoying, a little bit annoying at times. Very interesting fight here between the Flash and True Rippers, because the 3-1 split that the Flash went for was the exact same one as True Rippers. So Jelly just gets 1v1'd by one of the players there from the Flash. Kind of an unfortunate deal.
Yeah, they only get the 1 point for Rondo. It's not nice. But that is how the cookie crumbles this time around. Over in Hemetown, we saw Irina losing one, but they've got some time to play around with. Joker, actually, the split off, the 3-1 for them, with Alliance very close by. For Irina, it might be a little bit harder to go for that recall, but over towards Muhopan, you still have got that recall beacon available. The question is, do Alliance flex down? Do they spot it? Do they try and change things around there? Or are they going to allow this recall to come on through? Because Irina now on the back foot when it comes to rotating down from the north side.
I mean, for Alliance, like, if we're talking logically, there's absolutely no reason for them to pass through Joker. I think they could probably do a drive-by and see if there's any players there. Maybe pick yourself up 1 point and cut out Arena later on. But I think for Alliance, with this kind of circle, it is much more sensible, in my opinion, just to try and send down towards the south now. It's a long journey ahead for both these teams, so they do want to start getting in towards the circle a little bit sooner. A lot of squads are very central right now, and to do with the playing path. Arcred, though, moving up. Easy shots to start off with, but no dice on that one, as Baby is able to come out top.
Over the bridge, far away. Arcred losing one as ETSH able to take that fight. An architectural marvel there on the suspension bridge, but no suspense on that fight. It all came crashing down pretty quickly. As Baby now looking to hold the line against Ramses as well. For Arcred, again, it's all about just getting to those recall beacons. It looks like they've already managed to do that, and they'll be picking themselves back up. ETSH, though, wants to slow this down against Ramses, force them to go for another pickup and make their lives just that little bit harder. They are on the full surround on this building. What can Ramses do here? You know, this is a big opportunity to get an extra point at pretty little to no cost, right? For Ramses, if he's able to get one, I'd say just commit for the flush. You're going to get picked up back anyway by the rest of your squad. In goes Reverb, around the corner, goes for the knock, can't quite find it. So no point earned. That's not friendly, but worse things have happened, and they will be staying as 4.
Yeah, frustrating though, considering that was not a bad spot to hold to try and get across the bridge later on. They also have Glory over towards the northwest side, you can see, and on the western edge is Easy for Bad Boy. So overall, the team is quite disparate. They are not together right now, and it is uneasy land that they have to cross going forward, and they're split off there by Geeke as well as ETSH. I'm very curious to see how they play out the rest of this game. Towards Tin Long Garden, you do have Regnum Karya on there. Did they get back up to 4? They did. So they were able to get a recall on that one, which is great news. So Wild's back into the picture. Weibo very close to them over on their western side. They have lost one player, so unlikely to try and target Regnum Karya in the near future.
Holding on the top of Tin Long Gardens might work out well for them. We'll have to wait and see if that is going to be the dominant position, or if the Circle's going to have other ideas. It has been a little bit mean occasionally to a lot of our teams, except for Influence Rage. Absolutely loves those guys. They're having a great time with the Circle. Over the course of yesterday, they had a couple of shifts go their way. We'll see if that repeats. Virtus Pro now crashing into ETSH. I say crashing, more just sort of slowly getting along. Low friction, it seems. Ashiva's not even going to take shots. Does he realize that was an enemy? I don't know.
Yeah, I think so. They just kind of waved him goodbye. I mean, there really wasn't a team shot there for them, so they didn't want to just get popped. Especially on a rotate, you're on the western edge. Bit of an awkward EMP zone that does get caught out. But Virtus Pro, though, here's their big challenge. It's way in front of them. Suk is immediately down. An order's going to send away. For Virtus Pro, they desperately want a better day than yesterday. It was horrid and not at all what we expected from Virtus Pro as a team.
No, they sat in last place right now. For Virtus Pro, this is not going to be feeling good. They've already kicked off taking down Soup, though. One of the stronger players in the lobby. But Weibo are now kind of floundering on 3 players. With the high ground completely controlled by Virtus Pro for the time being, they really have to just hunker down. I don't think that they're going to be able to get towards a recall beacon blank. There's a couple minutes left on them, but it's not really going to be super accessible. They're going to have to play on us too, which is not good news. Virtus Pro should be happy about that. And the shift goes out to the western side there, out a little bit away from that central area. So teams going to have to maneuver around this one. Although a lot of teams in that Tin Long Gardens area, they're going to be able to stay put for the time being.
Yeah, interesting finish as well. You got 2 really big high grounds in terms of those pillars that sit down towards that south side. So teams can technically play around there. They also are quite good at cutting off sight lines, enabling it to take an approach. I think for Geeke as well as ETSH, like realistically, you want to try and control this southwest edge because it is isolated a little bit more. Reckon Kaya though spots DRX rotating in. There's a lot of damage to start off the innings here for Reckon Kaya.
Ooh, they've managed to find 1 knock, but DRX will start to put themselves back together now after the opening salvo. Looks like only the 1 will be found. That flush does come through, though, which puts them at a permanent disadvantage. And the nade is not going to tag on, but the shot's already landed up the hill. So DRX in a little bit of danger. Regnum Kaya maybe looking to chase this one down, as DRX don't really have time for the res. Maybe pop him into a vehicle and see if you can get away. But DRX have 2 fights now, as ETSH are going to chime in and join in on the bullying against DRX as Soez starts to bleed out. Silas, though, has bigger problems. It's the Burmese ghouls actually chiming in. So 4 teams now scrapping on these hills away from Tin Long Gardens. And you do need to be careful because Rectum Kai, I mean, they've already fully lost Silas now.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, where Burmese ghouls are playing as well is a pretty known spot. So I don't understand how Silas gets picked off there, tries to rotate around maybe to try and get some shots over towards DRX. I think that they are concerned the recall beacon, but it was camped out by Havlik, which is fair enough. Gets himself an elimination and will be able to get Exo back in the fight. So a great play from him.
Yeah, nice little find, nice little pick up there. Hyunbin drives out into the blue, thinks it's going to be safe. No, of course not. The balls are still out there. They'll gore you. They'll take you down. Have a real tough time. And that's DRX down. In 6th place right now, Rekt and Kaya were pretty neck and neck with them, so they'll be happy to see that. They did the majority of the damage to DRX on that initial run-up. They passed off the baton as well across the way to some of the other teams in the area, but they get 2 points for it. Next circle zone could be pretty mean to the teams, I think, in Tinlong Garden on a north shift. Actually cuts quite a few of them out. So Virtus Pro going to have to leave that spot up the top and going to have to try and push further to the side, but it seems like they're going to be able to open up and control the teams around them fairly nicely. E-Arena in the meantime, scrapping out with Alliance. A lot of fights already just popping off in the meantime.
Flash absolutely dismantling Twisted Minds there. Geeke also finding balls as they enter inwards. Lord goes down, not just Chudo left remaining for Twisted Minds. It's been a tough one. You know, Flash has consistently been pretty decent. You know, I'm actually quite impressed by this team. Very much not on my radar either, John.
Well, they have kind of snuck by. They're phasing through. And looking to go to the next phase as well as Tops with the suppressed auto shotty. A lovely sound there. A whisper. It's as loud as a scream there as Twisted Minds are silenced. Put down. Boars actually landing on the top of this fight, though. Okay, interesting. They get that recall and they use the parachutes to land up the top, get that high ground against Flash. I mean, fair enough. It might actually work out for them here, but the blue zone's pushing them. So they do need to be careful.
That's a nice little abuse of mechanics there. Does seem to work out quite well, but Win with a nasty nade up top again, John.
Ooh, Bose as well, finding the shutdown, gets that knock, gets the pump action through as well. Flash are losing 1 or 2, but Boars can't quite find the vector of attack here onto them. And again, they're just going to move onto the outside. The recall beacon's kind of out of reach now as the stage 4 zone going to be pretty difficult to deal with. Going to be really tough to make work. So maybe just try and extract the value while you can. Boars playing on as 3. Looks like they're going to allow Flash to get out of there for a little bit longer. The blue zone still ticking away and only 2 players alive. The Boars have made their mark, I think it's safe to say. Although there is an answer as Win finds Snowix. Okay, hang on a minute. They're taking things back under control. It's really going back and forth here with the Boars and Flash. They are struggling to find a conclusion on this northern edge.
It's a bit of a mockery coming through from the Flash right now, all things considered. I'm surprised Boars has gone down to 2 players here, John.
Just the 2. I mean, they lose them on the run out. Enough time. Tops looks to line up for more. Havlik will answer though, and Flash fall. But at the cost of 2 players, they managed to get some of those recalls early. You think maybe just go for a regroup elsewhere, right? Go for that recall, send away, try and extricate yourself, but no, they're more content to get those 3 points under the belt and keep things moving. ETSH in the meantime, establishing themselves up towards the high ground on the just southwest of center circle right now. It should be a solid spot for them. The Alliance further out, they're under a lot of pressure. Alliance with VP with Arcred as well, right next door to them. As we hop over to the east side, though, it's E-Arena, still trying to play that edge game, and they are not doing terribly over on that eastern side, but their approach still will be contested. I didn't even really notice it, Blank, but Team Flash got 10 elims there.
Yeah, they did great. 10 elims is a very respectable result here on Rondo, all things considered. Any game with 10 points anytime is a good result. Doesn't really matter about the placements at this point for them. Yeah, getting a 20-point game would have been nice, but if you can average out those 10 elim games from not amazing positions either, you are winning. You are absolutely winning. Cluck here from Alliance, staying hidden away as the final player here from that team. ETSH taking down players from Nuclear Zone. We're now officially in 16th place after VP were able to leapfrog them with their 3 elims this match.
Regnum Kaya managing to get that res, though, keeping themselves up as 3, very important, especially given now that the circle sits with them a little bit in favor. The difficulty is the sightlines that exist against them, and it's not a comfortable spot. Actually crashing further out of the circle for Regnum Kaya, they favor that as a location. Long-range shots coming through from DK, putting a lot of pressure out towards the circle, but they do still have to keep moving. They do still have to get on the road as Ragnarok does fall. They are cut out. One of the few teams on the outside now. I do want to go back to Regnum Kai. I know we talked about them a lot, but they just pushed away from the middle on the roadside to a position around this rock. They want to keep this under control, and maybe Virtus Pro are going to punish them for it. They step into their turf, and it's only Loxy now to survive. Zedwolf, I don't think he's going to be able to get away from this one, and the MG3 is loud. It's ringing in the ears of Regnum Kaya. Loxy heads back to the roadside. I mean, they really committed to this edge situation, but it's gone absolutely terribly for them.
I think there's a slow roll-up from Virtus Pro as well. Like Regnum Kai could have had the shots there. In the meantime, Weibo were able to get one more player back up in action. He's got 1 nade, but to make it count, doesn't quite go long enough.
Not going
That's
to
the
connect
Boars.
there.
Losing 1 player. EXO on the north side, final player for them now. They've been consistently playing. I don't think they've ever been in the circle right now, John. I think they've been always on the outside.
Yeah, it's not ideal, as I say. We are hopefully going to see them find a little bit more, but, you know, they're in 13th place, which is already exceeding my expectations. So fantastic news, really. And they've managed to get 3 points this game, so credit to them, winning that fight out with Flash earlier over on that northwestern side. But just EXO remaining, pushing in towards the Burmese Ghouls, who now again find themselves in a very defensible spot in towards these late game stages. We'll see if they're able to do anything with it. Weibo kind of trapped between E-Arena and Virtus Pro. Ooh, it's kind of nasty with it. Virtus Pro looking to add to their points tally. 6 elims found. That one gets stolen away, though, by E-Arena, as the rest of Weibo sending a lot further north around the rock.
Yeah, I think Max is absolutely right that Virtus Pro is a team that really thrives when it comes to basically cleaning up. They're a janitorial squad, right? They love to sweep teams out of the way. They love to get the mop and bucket out, clean up house when it comes to these end games. I mean, more good shots from Boston over towards Weibo, but they need to move now, and E-Arena sort of has their number.
Yeah, they've tracked this entire rotation, and they'll be right on the top here. Loxy not happy about this either. And remember, this is the position that Regnum Kai actually left earlier on. There's emergency cover flares. We haven't seen them so much yet, but they will start to bloom, I'm sure. As you can see, they are dropping down, littering those hillsides. E-Arena, Weibo all establishing cover to use on these open ground positions. A lot more useful than maybe it would be when it first meets the eye, but we'll see how they're able to use that one on fairly open sloping ground here. Sook actually landing a nade towards E-Arena. And this really does change the landscape, having those little triangle poke ups coming on through. I'm absolutely loving to see how that's developing. Regnum Kaya, last player, Loxy goes down. So they will not be able to get away from DRX, and Weibo can still continue their chase.
Yeah, I mean, any points Weibo can pick up here is fantastic, but not only that is they're clearing out space around them. Do you want to hear my hot take for the game? My hot take is that Burmese Ghouls does not win this match. Despite the position they're in,
I think that's a very cold take.
Them having 4. What do you mean?
I mean, we saw what they did yesterday, right?
All right.
We saw what happened to them. We saw what happened to them on Miramar. They're the best spot. They gave it up. They allowed people in, right?
Do you think Burmese Ghouls is very bad then?
I don't think I'd go that far. I just don't
You
think
said
they're
that my take was very cold.
Team. Yeah, I don't think they're going to win. They might do quite
But
well.
they have
might farm
probably
a few
the
more
best
elims.
position.
Yeah, they did in Miramar too. Evidence suggests.
You're a meanie.
You started it. You said they weren't going to win.
Yeah, I said it was a hot take, though.
Okay, fair enough.
You said it was cold, like you
Yeah,
expected them not to
tepid
win.
at best. Tepid at best.
Yeah.
I'm not. Yeah, I'm a doubter right now. I'm a doubter in the Burmese Ghouls. Willing to be proved wrong, but they've got to do it. They've got to be the ones to do it.
They call me the Burmese necromancer. I support them all the way now. Because
All right. Okay, that's well. You know what? They've gained a very powerful asset in that, and fantastic news for them. Hopefully, they'll be able to utilize that. Hey, they get an Elam. They get 6 now. I think at the moment, though, the big thing to notice is, of course, that Influence Rage and E-Arena are still alive towards the top 5, which is something that we saw from them so repeatedly yesterday, and it seems to start off repeating today.
And for E-Arena, 5 elims, right? Doesn't look too bad. They love their rondos. They love their rondos, jump. Hopefully get some more points here and shoot them further ahead here. Again, I mean, Random Kai was sort of in this spot. Maybe Max was right. Maybe I'm kind of wrong today. Maybe I'm just having an off day. I don't know what's happening.
I mean, I'm not entirely sure what the full theory for Reckon Kai was on that rotate. I'm sure that the desk can elucidate, but it was an interesting push to go back out towards the edge of the circle. They put themselves in that scenario.
No, that was fine. That was fine. That push was fine. The execution was terrible. The push was fine, though. They wanted to cut off teams coming in from the southwest because they can play around that hilltop, right? So you clear out one side, you fight the team on the northeast. The push was fine. Like I said, the execution was what was bad. The fact that Virtus Pro can come back as a 3 and take them on despite being split at the start, that shouldn't happen.
No, it should be a little bit more tricky than that, right? Should be made of tougher stuff. Influence Rage have been corralling this on the south side, but they do need to now worry about Burmese Ghouls moving in from that northwest edge, playing from their position. They don't have control of the circle anymore, with it shifting away from the compound that they've been holding, from the position rather that they've been holding. They are going to have to trudge a little bit further in. Influence Rage putting a lot of pressure over towards...
Come on, you Burmese boys! Come on!
Suffering beneath them too. I'm giving it to Influence Rage here. I'm backing the Brazilians.
Rise, my ghouls! Rise! Fight them! I need more aggression, ghouls now. Come on, rise!
Go on, Influence Rage. Let's go. It's either way. It's got to be a team from a country beginning with B that's going to win this one, right? It's either Brazil or it's Burma.
Alright, so on the high ground right now, Burmese Ghouls grab themselves a lot of angles. This looks a lot better than yesterday. They are allowing the foes ahead of them to do most of the work for them, and that's fine. As they pick up the chicken dinner off the back of it, Turney K over shot over towards Law, and he is down. Turney K going a little bit crazy here, and in come the Ghouls.
Oh dear. I'm going to have to eat my words, Blank. They have transitioned well. They've kept this fight in. Influence Rage put too much stock in controlling the fights to the south. Little boy, though, wants to make the most of it. Make a meal of E-Arena. Turney K will fall down, and this is the last player now for Influence Rage. Burmese Ghouls moving up with 4, but it's Malloy from Virtus Pro, who still have 2 players alive who are taking the shots from the sidelines. He gets lit up, needs to dodge around the blossoms, making himself a little bit more ethereal, hopefully, to dodge those bullets. Burmese Ghouls with it all to do. 4 players alive. Very little that anyone can do anything about this one, Blank. And you know what? We all believed in them right from the start. 100%. There was no one who ever doubted them.
Oh, this ghoulish gusto on my screen. Lovely to see the Burmese Ghouls at it again. That's fine. Ooh. The Ghouls rise again. That's what they do.
Okay.
From the mud. Res him, though, please. Please res him.
Aragon, not going to go down just yet. Godspeed, nearly getting the spray down. Has to go for the reload, and Aragon's out behind the tree.
Yes.
Oh, okay, but can Malloy get across to get the res? Little boy might make that harder. He's already challenging, but Malloy has the first shot, gets that first tick of damage, and the second comes through from the Burmese Ghouls. It's Malloy now down on the ground, alone in the dirt, as Aragon flushed away. They don't need the res, Blank. They're going for the 3v1.
Oh, Malloy on his lonesome. Come on, Unknown. Run him down. No! On the side of the car. It's a drive-by as well. Burma goes crazy here. In the first game of the day, over on Rondo, it's easy pickings. They had the best spot in the circle. They were the best boys for the job.
Oh, well, absolutely proved me wrong. There is egg all over my face. Brilliant win there coming through from the Burmese Ghouls. Fantastic showing to transition now. Yeah, you know what? Super dumb for me, to be honest. Absolutely. I had no faith in them whatsoever. But you know what? That is brilliant. That they've been able to carry forwards from Miramar, not having the best of times there, moving into today, not letting that affect them. That is brilliant news. They did not stay timid. They got a little bit more bold and brash with it.
Absolutely. Fantastic stuff. Great to see. And I think the Burmese Ghouls certainly do redeem themselves from yesterday, John.
A brilliant redemption arc coming through from the Burmese Ghouls. How far can they go? Can they rise to the top? We'll have to wait and see for the rest of the matches today.
The Ghoulish Gusto is at maximum capacity. And after match number 1, they shut down all the haters, Max, man.
Oh, I can tell you, Yangon Galacticos been like, my boys, let's go.
My ghouls.
Oh, and Blank also. But I feel like he was involved. He invested in this team. He went on a betting website and he put a lot of money on the Burmese Ghouls. He was very excited about that chicken dinner coming out from Myanmar. But what a slow-paced game, right? Neptura for them. They got in a compound, very strong position. They hold it down. They hold down the fort, and they push out. Maybe a little bit late to my taste, but eventually it works out. They get the win, and they keep 4 players alive. So you can't really complain too much about it.
No, you really can't. They were just playing it really slow, really steady, letting teams fight their way into the top 4, and then they were just able to clean up. They had the manpower, they had the utility, they had everything ready to go. So a really solid performance here from Burmese Ghouls to start off the day. I think they were just really mad about how that last Miramar went, right? That win just taken from them, and so they come back fighting today. A really good start.
Man, it's so crazy to see this performance. I remember before Group Red started, I was talking to Blank, and I was like, man, which team do you think is going to just make it happen here? And he was like, Burmese Ghouls all the way. Day 1 supporter. I love to see that come to fruition here in Day 2, Max.
Yeah, I mean, he did say that. No, I have a recording. I can share it later on if you guys want. He definitely did say that. But you can see also the damage ratio. A lot of them didn't take that much damage except for Yatka, and then most of that damage did come in the last minute or so of this game. So they weren't really challenged all that much, but they were zoning that position up northwest of this circle really efficiently, so you can't complain too much about that. So very good to see that from the Burmese Ghouls. That, keep it in mind, they were in 10th position here, Niptura, at the start of today, so this game alone, that's going to push them up in like maybe a top 6, top 5 situation. This is a very, very strong game here that's going to help them out significantly in their attempt to make it to the finals.
Yeah, and that's what Rondo is all about, right, Jukes? That's what Rondo is all about, you know, getting those points, getting that boost, ready to go for the rest of the day, right?
Absolutely. I mean, you got to crush it on day 1. Game 1, we saw what EA was able to do with a good performance. Hopefully, this could be the start for BG, Max.
Hopefully, yeah. I'm just looking at these replays, and Infinix True Rippers, unfortunately, the hot dropping literally our second place team in the leaderboards is maybe not the best idea. I would not recommend it to my worst enemy. So maybe that would be one thing on the next Rondo going into tomorrow to try and fix it. That would be a really good thing for the side of True Rippers. They're looking at some of these replays, man. The aim accuracy from some of these guys on these moving vehicles is crazy. And the double. I didn't even see that earlier. Oh my God, that was huge.
That was actually crazy. Love to see that. You know what? Also, shout out to Virtus Pro. We were talking about them in the pre-show, right? And they are here in a 2nd place and already looking far better than they were yesterday, right, Max? Like, they were pushing Weibo really, really well. They're holding their angles. They're splitting up a little bit better. They're using their high ground efficiently. As I say that, we see the replay of them getting absolutely decimated. But, you know, it is still a 2nd place finish with a lot of eliminations. So, far better game. than their entire day yesterday. It's already off to a better start.
And they were challenged the entirety of this game too. Next, on the western side of Tinglong Garden, they had to go for Nerdy Clash, push away the side of Weibo Gaming, where they do get one elimination, I do believe. And off the back of that, they play the southern western edge next to this big stone pillar. And Weibo and E-Arena are fighting, and they just, I think they time the fight to kind of third party from a distance so efficiently. They don't get fully involved, but just enough to kind of have an impact on those two teams. And that's enough for them to get 13 points this game. So Virtus Pro,
Wow.
they got 8 points day one, guys, and they got 13 points in one game. Let's go, VP are back.
That's more than double. That's almost pretty much double, right? What they did in game their whole day. So I mean, that's some serious improvement right there. I mean, Burby's goals as well, massive improvement on the day. We still saw some of the top squad sneak away some points here. Neptura, as we look at the second page, Ragnarkaria, 3 points. They put something on the board, but they definitely need to do more here for the rest of the day.
I think game one, it's okay, right? They're close enough where they can afford to have 1 3-point game. You know, like you said, it's still points on the board. But as we go into a wrangle now, we just need to start seeing some bigger digits coming up for some of these teams.
Yeah.
DRX as well, right? Almost there. It's almost within their clutches, but 0-point games, just not the start they want.
Oof, here we go. MVP of the game is going to be unknown. I think you watched a lot of Marth gameplay during the Gauntlet stage. Like, I really like those solo drive-bys he was doing. Yoink, mine. I'm going to do the same now going into this stage for Group Red. Really good stuff coming out from him this match. Very, very happy about it. And overall, interesting game. Unfortunately for DRX, we did see on the leaderboards, they got the goose egg. They got the 0-point game. Hot Jukes. I'm still hoping DRX can do something. They were in 6th position, but that's going to hurt them. A 0-point day at this point, you're almost at the halfway point of Group Red. That is tough game to get.
Yeah, that's tough indeed. We take a look at the overall leaderboards. Influence Rage holding on to that 3rd place position with 68 points. EA pushed that lead just further with those 10 eliminations they got in that last game. But you're talking about DRX, right? They have 68 points. DRX has 44. That's going to be a 24-point difference from 3rd place. So, man, I mean, that point gap is coming to fruition here, Neptura, early.
Yeah, I mean, the good news is, though, is Erangel DRX can do very well on, right? I mean, yes, okay. Erangel, everybody can do well on it. But, you know, there are some teams that prefer that Miramar. But the good news for DRX is that they get to start their good map at ASAP. They don't have to wait too much longer for them to really get those points coming on through. 24 is not the end of the world. That's just one really, really good game.
Yeah.
So still lots and lots of hope for them. My problem, or rather my concern, is that as we get down that leaderboard 10th and 11th onwards, that's where we're starting to see, like, you know, coming into today, those points just aren't going to be enough unless they have just a massive, massive game. It's going to be very difficult for them to reach top 3.
Yeah, I mean, the lobby is so stacked. I feel like there's definitely going to be some of those teams that are going to be able to bring it to the table. I mean, I'm looking at Influence Rage in particular, right? They're currently in the top 3. They had a chicken dinner to kick off their angle yesterday. They got 2nd place also. I think Influence Rage might be 1st place after this stretch of Erangel matches. They're looking at the top 4 players. Where's that? Is Tony K again? Even though, like, E-Arena didn't
That's
get...
right.
Oh, okay. I guess it is. Okay, well, congrats. He's always there. I don't know what it is. It's E-Arena and Rondo's a great love story. I love it. Better than Twilight.
They love it. They love it. And they're crushing it right here, Neptura. So, I mean, EA, when you have such a solid map, you know, and especially Rondo, with you can just get a ridiculous amount of points. This is a great start for this team. And start of the day for them. You know, we are going into Erangel for sure. I'm going to start saying some predictions just from the way the lobby looks, right? We are noticing that teams, like I talked about at the start of the day, are not really taking those crazy risks, right? Like Burmese Ghouls, they got a solid position. Nobody was just doing a crazy push to challenge them on it. So when the zone ended up where it was automatic victory for this team pretty much. The thing is though, right? Since that's kind of how the play style seems to be going here, I have a big feeling that we're going to see these top teams put up points every game pretty much, unless something like a catastrophically goes wrong. So what do these mid-pack teams need to do, right? Like DRX, to shake that up here? Because at 24 points behind 3rd place, if those top teams are going to consistently get points, that's going to be hard to catch up already.
Yeah, I think honestly, and I don't know what you feel about this, Max, but teams that are playing center tend to do much better in terms of placement, because I think a lot of this lobby waits a lot, and so you end up seeing a lot of fights break out on the edge. And so if you're not a team that can really sweep effectively, I think a lot of those mid-place teams could do a lot better by just going center, playing a little bit like Burmese Ghouls here. They had that compound, they kept that compound, they waited for the end game. I'm not saying be super passive or anything, but I think maybe just not going for those fights on the edge would help them preserve their placement points a lot better.
I feel like, because as you said, right, some teams tend to delay their particular move or their engagements. I'm remembering Group Green, we had third parties every single day. And I feel like this lobby in particular kind of has a fear, an inherent fear of third parties. So, oh, but if we crash first, another team is going to crash upon us. And because we're not going to be ready for that fight, we're going to crumble, we're going to die, we're going to get eliminated. I feel like that's an issue they currently have. But if you take those fights early on in the match, there's a very slim chance of you getting third party if you scout it around you, of course. So, yeah, we're not... Actually, now that I'm rethinking of yesterday, we didn't see that many big third parties. We did see a few, of course. You're always going to have some in PUBG Mobile Esport, but nowhere near as much as Group Green, Hodrix, which is actually quite odd now that I think about it. And I'm going to pay even more closely attention to that going into Erangel.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. I think we definitely should keep an eye on it, because I remember specifically Arc Red was that team that was like hunting those third parties. Like, I always saw them just kind of waiting for that fight to happen, and then they were going for it, right? But one thing I do notice is it's a little bit more difficult.
That's
1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2. Testing.
caster type talk. You guys, so stop it, you know? Stop that. Because we're here. We're cracking on. I couldn't really hear what they were chatting about. I'm pretty sure they were throwing shade at me just a moment ago, but we were talking in the meantime. So fortunately, I didn't hear a word of it. Either way, we are going to be heading into our first Erangel of the day as we are underway very, very soon. Just dropping in. Hopefully, we'll see some more action. Pretty lickety split. What do you think, Frank? You ready for it?
Yeah, I love action, me personally. Personally, action is the best. I wouldn't go. That's a subject we should leave alone. You know,
Okay.
that's some past scars I don't want to talk about. Makes me sad more than anything.
That's all right. You'll be okay. You will.
I've cried about it many times.
Yeah, well, I know I was there. I offered you tissues, but you said no. I want to feel this.
I need to feel it.
From Novo over towards the west coast, we are looking at
I'm feeling this.
hard cut on the plane path. You know what? You get in those feels, man. Real men do cry. We are heading on into this one, and it's going to make plenty of our players, I think, a little bit weepy, because that is a pretty nasty plane path, I think.
It's tough. It's definitely tough. I mean, it's slightly less of an issue where you can get towards a lot of the general landmarks on the map on the western side. But you're right. Getting over towards the east, where you typically want to spread out, it's hard. It's hard to do. There's going to be some early crashes, some early skirmishing over vehicles. I imagine, on our screens. But there's also this consideration to make that the one thing I did quite catch, which Max was saying, which I'll enlighten you all upon, because that man is a cauldron of wisdom. But and we get a Sosnovka circle. Okay. But what are you saying is that this lobby is very hesitant to third party. Get the double. Yes, please. That's nice. And tumble. But yeah, never mind. What I was going to say is this, what Max was saying is that the lobby is very hesitant to go for third parties. The lobby is very hesitant to aggress upon certain areas of the map. And I think that's, in my mind, this is me, this is copium. I 100% admit this being copium. This is why I sort of think Regnum Kai is not doing all that great. It's because they try and take initiative, and because no one else is, they're the only team towards the center of the circle who's trying to take those third parties, trying to take the initiative. So as soon as it happened, everyone else is like, oh, now we can look that way. Because it's the only thing they are looking at. Other than that, it's quite passive. So I think unfortunately for Regnum Kai, they have to play a really slow game. But the problem with playing a really slow game is that you rely on luck to get a lot of your points.
I mean, I think that's true, yeah, because you're waiting for so long. Everybody's waiting for so long. It's just, who's in the better spot in the end. And that is fully decided by the circle a lot of the time. Sure, you can make those inroads, you can make those rotations better, but you're right, it does start to close it down. He's not done just yet. Those iron sights are good enough for Walsh. He's only got 14 rounds though. Has to swap over to the UMP, and Hawkred, they're being hunted right now. They did lose a player and they did get flushed, but they managed to get Glory back up. Going to take shots out that way. Twisted Mind's investing a lot of time going for this, but if you could take down the team over towards school, fair enough, especially on a circle like this. But maybe it would be more profitable for Pachinki to just head straight down to that Sosnovka circle immediately, like we saw the Falcons do back in Group Green.
Luckily for me, the Burmese necromancer, my ghouls are waiting in military base, ready to cause carnage and havoc amongst the rest of the lobby. I'm ready for it. Hey, here's a quick replay. We saw for shush now, shush. The Burmese necromancer is talking.
I need to set the record right here. Because I've been gaslit this whole time. All right, you were the one who initially said you didn't have faith in Burmese schools winning. All right, I just said that wasn't that bold of a take. I doubled down on it, but you gaslit me into believing that you thought that they were going to be successful the whole time. So I
did, as the Burmese necromancer. Oh, no. I believed in them all the way. They're going for a little split off here as well. And personally, I really like what the ghouls are doing right now. Very intelligent. You can tell that the Burmese ghouls have eaten a lot of brains this morning.
Eating your brain for sure. Off on one.
Oh, my brain is full of wisdom. I'm happily lending it to the Burmese ghouls as the Burmese necromancer.
I don't think you're getting that back though. They seemed mighty peckish, certainly in that last game, right? It
was good.
Quite a few
it's a
points.
Sacrifice I'm willing to make.
Wow. Okay, you're really back at this team now.
Boys.
After your initial doubt that you definitely had.
Talking more about the circle overall, now that I've had my fun, and I am now officially a Burmese Ghoul stan. Regnum Kaya over on that north side, they are definitely playing a little bit safer this time around. Unfortunately, and we did get to see this slightly, we didn't talk about it too much, but True Rippers did get ripped apart a little bit on their approach over on the eastern side, sadly, down to now just 2 players, which is a bit rough for them. Definitely not all that playable. Suddenly you're thrown into this situation where you have to play a lot of these awkward angles, play around ticket booths. It's not easy. And that's typically something you want to be forced into. Well, you never really want to be forced into it, but if you are, it's something you want to happen around about the 18-20 minute mark, where there's a lot less eyes on you and a lot less 4-man teams breathing down your neck. So I think for True Rippers, it's going to get slightly more difficult going forward. But it does open up a lot more space for teams coming in later. For instance, like the Flash, Arcred, Nuclear Zone, even Twisted Minds potentially.
I mean, for Weibo, though, for E-Arena, they are very far away. They're all the way up in Severny, up in Georgopol, and they're going to be looking to try keep that one going. I thought my feed had just frozen there, but Tony K was just not moving completely still. He was,
Never look at the map.
I mean, yeah, fair enough. He's checking his inventory. He's making sure it's fine. I mean, they know they're pretty much alone here, so they don't really need to be worrying there. Just need to be engaging those big brains of theirs.
It is funny because a lot of times when you're watching, it's kind of similar to what Max was talking about at the start of the day, where you get comments like, "Hey, well, I get 8 elims average in my games." It's a very different lobby. But also, you see comments like that. Why is that guy crashing that car into the tree? Because they're all looking at the map when they're rotating. That's all they're doing. We do have an interview coming up very shortly with the 7WG, as well as with my Burmese boys, Sitichi from the Burmese Ghouls. So we'll see what he has to say, and hopefully praises them a lot.
No way. There's got to be. This has gone too far now. I like the Burmese Ghouls. They did well in that last game. I'm proud of them. Well, let's see.
Shush.
Let's see what Seven asked them about and what they had to say in response.
Welcome back to a quick report with the 7WG. I'm joined by the winners of Rondo in day 2 of Group Red, BG, Ichi nonetheless. By the way, I gotta give you props. In Circle 7, great scouting by you while your 3 teammates were pretty much just waiting in the compound. You went around, found a spot, and was just played perfectly. But I do want to talk about Erangel. Yesterday, your performance in Erangel, 13, 15, 7th. What are you looking to change in going into Erangel? Because we do play it 3 times, and I feel like that's where you need to perform.
ဒီနေ့ Erangel မှာဘယ်လိုမျိုးပြောင်းလဲထားတယ်ဘယ်လိုမျိုး plan တွေချထားတယ်ဒီနေ့ Erangel မှာကစားမဲ့ပွဲနဲ့ပတ်သက်ပြီး
ဒီနေ့ ranking မှာတော့မနေ့ကအမားတွေကိုကျွန်တော်တို့အကောင်းဆုံးပြင်ဆင်တယ်ပြီးတော့ဒီ rotation တွေပါတယ်ပြင်ဆင်ထားတယ်ကျွန်တော်တို့ဒီတပ်ပါတီပါတယ်ပေါ့မနေ့ကအဲ့ဒါနဲ့ကျွန်တော်တို့မှောက်တာဆိုအဲ့ဒါကျွန်တော်အကောင်းဆုံးပြင်ဆင်ထားပါတယ်
we have prepared for rotations and then other rotation and map going around the maps so because these are the really important factors so
Well, I love hearing that because you do need to adjust to what this lobby is giving you. And even in this situation where you guys, in a way, felt like it was going to be a free win going back to Rondo, but then the circle went away from you guys were able to adjust quite great. And there was people doubting you even in that position, saying you weren't going to win, blank, John. But you guys were able to pull off, especially with that great scouting that I mentioned. Do you have any message for your doubters out there?
ကိုယ်မယုံကြည်တဲ့လူတွေပေါ့ဘယ်လိုမျိုးပြောချင်လဲဘာစကားပြောချင်တာရှိလဲ
အများကြီးတော့ထွေထွေတူတူပြောစရာမရှိပါဘူးကျွန်တော်လည်းအကောင်းဆုံးကြိုးစားသွားပါမယ်လို့
not much to say we will do our best
Well, the team that took down the PMWC champions Yangon Galacticos coming in hot in day 2 of Group Red. Let's see if we still have some doubters out there.
Hey, you know what? It's good that they're not taking your doubting words to heart, Blank. I'm glad that they're just going to try and put it on the battlegrounds. So they're not going to be too harsh on you, I'm sure. In the meantime, though, big shifts on the circle as we head on over to the west side of Sosnovka Military Island. Teams seem to have condensed fairly amicably, and it's kind of what you were saying before, right? Not too much early scrapping. Obviously, we saw the drop eliminations come through into Arcred, onto True Rippers as well. But generally, teams very happy just to chill out and play next to each other, except for E-Arena and Twisted Minds. They're still on the northern side, though, so they've probably got a little bit more to fight for. Similar situation over on the East Bridge.
Yeah, I mean, E-Arena's pretty aggro. I think that they're very good at it. They slow it down a lot towards the late game, though, and I think the reason they get away with it a lot more than, for instance, Regnum Kaya is because they're an edge team. One of the only edge team that does get very aggro anyway. So I think they isolate a lot more of their fights, whereas for Regnum Kai, it's a little bit more difficult to do. And we saw that very clearly yesterday over towards Tornado Siren, where suddenly you've got 4 teams all in that position. And Regnum Kai is like, what's going on? Why are we not trying to eliminate one another here? This is weird. Slight changes apparently coming here on Erangel for Burmese Ghouls on their rotates. Well, look at this, lads. You don't have to rotate at all. The circle comes to you, which makes your lives much easier, I imagine, going forward. But Regnum Kari do have the central spot, I would say, central-ish for now. Likely to move down towards the southeast eventually around those hilltops. But again, transitional routes are pretty good. They should be able to get some points off of the bridge camp. Circle shifting over towards that side, though, was unexpected, to say the least. Alliance now having a strong spot over towards the beachhead in those smaller compounds. A little bit more of a split required there, so I do think they will have to be quite vigilant on the approaches from some of our other teams.
Yeah, that's a really solid spot now for Alliance, for Burmese Schools in the hills to the north as well. Virtus Pro starting to clear out the last two players of True Rippers. There's still one more to go, and they are on the north side of C Block under lots of pressure. Meanwhile, over towards this east bridge, it's still just trying to hold this out, trying to get through. I mean, Nuclear Zone actually not doing terribly. It looks like they might actually just be able to send this one straight across.
One player is on foot, so probably Krona does fall. It's pretty rough. I think it was quite a bold move from True Rippers to try and play C Block, you know? I think they had to puff out their chest a little bit more to scare off some teams, but alas, one player does go down almost immediately to Virtus Pro. Again, for Virtus Pro, it's also a slightly wild crash into C Block, considering there might have been a four-man team there. Good shots from Regnum Kaya, though, as Influence Rage attempts to push up towards the northeast and immediately gets rebuffed. That is the most confident we've seen Regnum Kaya look so far in Group Red.
Yeah, they held out that run really nicely against Influence Rage. Two players carrying on. Further out to the west, we saw that bridge camp coming through PK, who are putting a lot of stock in holding this east side bridge fight. It might work out quite well for them, Blank. They have got an outpost towards the circle. Nobody else really contesting at all for the east side of this one. I feel like this might play really very well for GK. Normally, I don't like sitting on those bridge camps for too long, but I think this scenario, it's going to work out for them.
Yeah, I think it will. I think they can spend a lot of time here. It clears out a lot of area as well. Then you can start working the beachhead over towards the eastern side, even trying to play the high ground. I imagine that for ETSH, goodness me, we'll just play the compounds down towards the south side for quite a while. Online to move from there. Weibo, they've been out in the blue for a long time, John. I think this is the first time they've been out of the blue for quite a while. In fact, they're not even out of the blue yet. What am I talking about? But they've got a lot of meds to work with. Hopefully he can get through. Arthur from Nuclear Zone underneath on the south side. He's going to let them pass, you know, as the gatekeeper. He keeps the gates open, apparently. A nice guy. Nice guy. No gatekeeping here.
Yeah, I don't even know if he extracted a fee there. Weibo on 4 players. So they are, yeah, there's clear sailing.
Enter.
This is kind of bad news for Geeke, right? They were like, okay, those guys will, you know, sort themselves out. This is a really nasty circle. Goodness me. Over towards the water. I mean, it makes Burmese Schools' lives a little bit harder. Reckon Kaya as well, going to have to shut on in. For Alliance, regroup towards the hill. I think that's the hill that DRX did so much on last time around, as the east side bridge concludes with Nuclear Zone going down. Our first team to be fully eliminated in our first Erangel today.
Yeah, it's a brutal circle, man. Very brutal circle. I think it cuts a little bit of the compound in for Regnum Kaya as well. It's fairly interesting. You know, off the back of a 20-point game here for Regnum Kaya, that easily sits them up towards the top 3, right? Especially with Influence Rage taking quite a bit of damage right now. Little Boy sends out into the blue, over towards the water on the north side, which is an interesting decision. Might seem safe for a while. I think what he hasn't taken into account that there is also still a lot of teams to make it into the circle right now at stage 4. Still playing up towards that bridge and imagining that some of the DRX players will have sightlines over towards this eventually. Arcred still considering whether they should make that push or not. Good hold again for Regnum Kaya, just holding that bridge down, finding another shot over towards DRX.
And that's really getting fraught over on the western side. There are 2 teams still yet to cross. DRX trying, but really suffering on the hold against Regnum Kaya. You've got E-Arena behind them. You can see their health bars on the right-hand side of the screen on the tower graphic there are going lower and lower. We're in stage 4, Blank. It's really hurting, and Kaiksei has to dash forwards. I think, is this the last player for DRX? No, they got another one somewhere surviving, trying his best, and Kaiksei continues to run on through, but Wild immediately spots him as he steps too too far down. Regnum Karya can regroup. They'll play on. There's still many more points to earn, apparently, on this bridge crossing as NC2 gets picked up. So is the last to play for DRX. Needs to extract value, so any point matters. We'll be able to find the flush over on towards NC2. Finds that point, add it to the tally. Zed Wolf backing off as the zone starts to put the crunch on.
Hey, if you can't beat him, join him. I actually think that's exactly what Regnum Kai's doing right now. Is like, well, if people will fight us and they just hold us on the edge, then we're going to hold everyone on the edge. All right, no one's coming in. We're going to play this as best as we can. We're not taking fights. We are literally just going to hold you on your rotates because we know you all rotate really slow. That's okay with us. And they've done it quite well this game. I think it's a lot better, a lot nicer. Overall, quite impressive from Regnum Kai this game. But less impressive in terms of like the flashiness of the match, but more impressive in terms of like, well, this is how we have to win. Like, this is how we're gonna have to play.
Joker's on the spin, and he gets his jaw spun. Tries to rock up to the middle of the circle, has a tough time of things. ETSH are able to establish crossfire with the very minimal pieces of cover that they have. I don't think that shack's going to be too secure for long once teams are allowed to get anywhere near it within nade range, and this is a bust for them. Stakara goes down as well, and that's E-Arena out. The fact that there are still players, I was just going to say, those players on the northern side, Twisted Minds and Arcred, is a little bit crazy. Walsh as well has made the swim. So for Twisted Minds, let's just see what Lord can get done here. The circle does go to the coastline, so they can keep going for a little bit longer. Lord raining from up on high here as Hardboy doesn't quite have the angle. Drops down a little bit too low, and Lord follows him. He's getting in and amongst them, but he will not be able to find it. Goes down, gets flushed immediately. That will be a res for Glory, as Walsh was actually eliminated in the meantime as well across the river.
Oh man, that's so sad. I felt the glimpse. He realized to himself, he's like, I gotta go for it. You know, I'll never live this down if I don't go for the jump. You know what? I respect the jump. It was one of his few options, and he went for it. Okay, even he goes down there. I think everyone can agree that was a cool play. Right, that was a cool play. Unsuccessful, but a cool play. You know, that's what makes him the man of the lobby right now.
All right, big hours for Twisted Minds.
Real men jump.
Yeah. They are. Verse Pro trying to move over
by the way.
The open ground. Yeah, Aragon will be taken down though. I mean, this is really tough stuff from the southeast side. It's been treacherous, tumultuous on the south side for a long time now, Blank. But it seems like it's all coming to a head for Versus Pro. They've been back of the queue for this rotate for a while, and Weibo will punish them. Kike as well, establishing that hold on the northern side, will be shutting them down. Virtus Pro not going to go very far here in the first Erangel today. Burmese Ghouls, they're up to bat now, and they too have a really tough time getting into this.
Come on, Burmese Ghouls. It's balls. You can deal with this team. I believe in you.
It's way better,
I think.
isn't it?
Yeah, well, if they want to go that way, sure. You know, it's unlucky. It's unlucky. You know, what could they really do there? That's a tough rotate. They may have started towards the center of the circle. You know, it doesn't mean that they can end up in the center of the circle. It doesn't always work in your favor. I will say, though, no, shush, you know. I'm going to talk about it a little bit, all right? Weibo, on the other hand, excellent stuff. I think that the rotate that they made was unforgiving, long, and grueling, yet they have ended up here. And again, I think that I was talking about a lot yesterday. I think Weibo does have some of the best rotates in this lobby. Hasn't quite translated into points towards the top 3 just yet. But if you watch back, I think it's around about 60% of the games they play, they've made like a crazy rotate that has worked where they have threaded the needle. Look, they're going back to bed, all right? They're going to go back in the ground and they're going to come back out next game, okay? All right? It's a little sleepy nap time for the Burmese Ghouls. They'll come back stronger. But yeah, for Weibo, I think 60% of the games, their rotates have been on point.
Looking pretty decent with it. 5 elims to show for this match. After guarding out on the southeast side, Wild stepping onto the beach, able to get another point for Regnum Karya. So they are going blow for blow right now with Weibo and the eliminations this game. Very close to each other on the tables as well. Both in those chasing positions right now. as Regnum Kaya, I mean, they have free reign over this beach at this point. With Team Flash condensed, clumped up, they can start to extend over around this way, but Geeke will meet them head on, right? And that's probably what they're worried about. The team that's far off around that beachhead, just taking a spot out. If they're completely out in the open, they just can't make that work. So instead, they head a little bit more inland.
I really want to see how Regnum Kaya handles this now. It's not an easy circle, to say the least, and there is a lot of long-range shots required. I think Zed Wolf is insane at that, as is Silas, and Lochte has some good chops on as well. Wild takes some very, very good anchor points for the squad, and that's going to be very helpful in this circle. But yeah, for Regnum Kaya, everything has led up to this moment right now, and I think that they have the chops to do it. It's a case where you see this circle, and for Regnum Kaya, this is an easily winnable game. I will be disappointed if they don't win it. Equally, I'd be happy if we saw Weibo win as well. I think they'll rotate from the north side. They're in the blue zone for about a good 10 minutes. If they win this game, also a very successful match for them.
Yeah, they're crossing over on that east bridge. Really very successful. Remember, they were allowed to do that by the teams fighting around that area. They came in behind the Burmese Ghouls and were able to leapfrog everything as Regnum Kaya continue to add to their tally. ETSH now down with 9 elims for Regnum Kaya. This could be a big one. It's Alliance who sit in the middle. Currently no elims, but in a really important building that could be a little bit troublesome. However, the open ground, I think, affords Regnum Kaya a lot of strength, where Alliance very much crammed in and might not get too many points for this match. There's the nade I was waiting for against Team Flash. I was worried that it was going to be coming on through, and it was to be, unfortunately for them. The second one a little bit short, post another. No, it goes long again. They think they've gotten out of there. But Geeke gonna put the hurt down. As soon as you get broadside on the door, though, that should be easy nade postage, as Win has to step out and he gets knocked.
I'm not gonna lie, Geeke's really overthinking this. They are really overthinking this.
Nade the building.
Exactly.
Oh.
Hey. Oh my god. You're just expecting them to jump, to run out. But if they don't run out in the first three nades, start throwing some of them inside. That's a lot of utility lost there. A lot of utility lost. Nade over the top here, over towards Ragnarok. Looks fairly on target to me, slightly far. The hovercraft will come through, so that's very low. They're going to wrap around it, or potentially just wrap back there. Still more shots over towards that hovercraft is required to take that down for Geeke. That is a big old treasure on side for them. Very helpful towards the end game.
A little bit low on ammo there.
Mechanic for the team.
Yeah, he's getting the vehicles in tip-top spick and span condition, you know? You've got to be looking good on the road. For Regnum Kaya as well, the next rotate probably going to be very important, especially with Geeke on the outside, right? They're going to have a lot of overview, and even more so now, they want to take control of this circle.
Regnum Kaya actually being able to rotate over towards the beachhead, a lot of possibility here, but I think that you sort of just want to leave Silas there as an outpost. Same with Geeke, they're doing the exact same thing. You can try and control this southern side. You know, that's where most of the teams are. It's very open on the northern edge. So this is one of the few circles where you try and play outside the zone for as long as possible to try and gather position.
That's that Regnum Kaya special. Take down the hovercraft. It ain't moving. Kevin just puts it in, spots it down. Gives them a little bit of cover to the north side, to be fair.
Kevin just rolled in and was like, oh, actually, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I should have never came here. I'm sorry.
Oh dear. Well, he is going to go back to off. Does manage to find the cover of his team. And now Weibo pushing up on this eastern side.
That's your teammate. That is your teammate.
Hero literally just naded Soup. That is unbelievable. What are you doing?
That didn't.
Weibo's so good rotations, by the way. And there's the sticky. Hero goes down as he tries to pick his teammate back up. Weibo are their own worst enemy, Blank. It seems like Geeke are losing players to something. I don't even know. Because what on earth are they doing? And now Regnum Kaya have everything.
Oh, Hero! What was that? It wasn't like he was even like towards Geeke. He literally just turned around and lobbed it at Sook's mouth. Oh, you got to be kicking yourself for something like that, man. Oh, Hero's so sad.
Oh, the chase down. Geekay are doing pretty well here against Rectum Kaya. Silas and Loxy now, the two to stand. Alliance have flexed out in the meantime, and they do have 4 players. Well, they haven't flexed out at all, actually. They do still have 4 players, though.
I'm confused, dude. I'm confused. Someone's all gone wrong. Good shots from Silas, though, to start things off here. 10 elims on the game so far for Regnum Kaya, which is great. Absolutely great. 11 make it now with Loxy helping from the back line to make that 14. Now into a 2v4.
Okay. Jimmy troubles an 8. The 1v3 hold for Loxy against Alliance. They have nothing to say about it. Now into a 2 versus 1. Loxy's coming alive, and he wants to put up big numbers here for Regnum Kaya. A 1 versus 4 for Loxy to shut it down, and Regnum Kaya run riot on the north side of Military Island.
Oh my days, Regnum Kaya. You lose 2, but suddenly Silas, as well as Loxy, goes Super Saiyan in those final moments. Silas is pretty mad. But they got it done. 17 limbs. Oh, it's not mad. It's a little bit of relief, a little bit of stress been released there in the end game. But yeah, I think... Oh my god, I know Loxy can clutch up. Did not expect the 1v3 almost immediately. Make that a 1v4.
I mean, that was impeccable stuff from Loxy. Brilliant on the first hold. Getting those 2 knocks so early, of course, fantastic news for him. But reading that nade, hearing that pin and immediately capitalizing, I mean, there was confusion in Alliance's camp, and they've been biding their time for far too long. A second place pales in comparison to what's just happened there. That is beautiful stuff, and it almost made me forget about the fact that Hero naded Sook, you know? And then there was a drive-by Sticky in these final moments. A pretty crazy finish, all things considered.
It really was. I mean, Loxy, the clutch maestro, right here on the Group Red stage.
Alliance were on the road to victory, but Regnum Kaya Loxy said, "You shall not pass." The 1v4 comes up to get the chicken dinner, and right when Regnum Kaya needed it, Max.
Let's freaking go! This is the Regnum Kaya we've been waiting to see perform, and this is the top tier level gameplay you can expect, and we got to rewatch this clip in Iptra. Loxy using this door frame to its full potential. The 1, the 2, and the 3rd as he goes for the nade. What incredible discipline in that shed. That was 10 out of 10 stuff coming out from Loxy.
It was so good. I mean, the quick flicks paired with the in the vehicle, you know, getting the knock in the vehicle, the quick flicks coming through around the corner, and then just moving out of the way, having that result to not get naded, coming around out the outside and going, yeah, you are nothing. I just got 3 of you. 1 more is nothing. I'm going to win for my team. Loxy coming out the gate, just swinging like that. I love seeing that. What a play.
That is how you get it done there, folks. What a crazy first Aaron Gale here for day 2. We get an insane military circle and hard shifts up to the north. I think Weibo's going to get gate kept on the Eastern Bridge, and then they get it for free. I mean, this match had it all, Max. Come on.
Yeah, it also had Hero nading Sook. Maybe they have some drama happening behind the scenes. I don't know. That looks too intentional to be a mistake. Okay, I don't believe it. We'll see. We'll see if the drama channels on Instagram are going to be able to uncover what's happening beneath the surface, because there's definitely some drama happening there. But no, okay, I'm just memeing. Still, I do like the approach of Weibo actually in Niptra in that game. Trying to push on the eastern side, take the high ground away from Geekay was the right approach. But the execution itself was just, sorry to say, but complete mess in my opinion. What was that?
Very odd, right? And I think it's one of those things where you have such a crazy fumble like that, where it's like you naded an own teammate for like it wasn't even in the way, it was just completely wrong direction. And I think after that, maybe there's just a little bit of it all falls apart because it's like, wait, what just happened? And other teams already in that mood to just go in and take all the elims they want, just able to take advantage. But Arcred, not a great start to their era. This ain't Rondo. What you doing? Oh, it's bad. It's bad. It's really bad. But, you know, a lot of teams. I think it's really just we're seeing all these nasty clutches coming in here because both bridges were locked. Wait, what happened there?
60 after that shot. Rippers. He's like, yo, what's going on?
Hello. What are we doing here? That's so funny.
But to be honest, for true Rippers, it's kind of rough, Diptro, because they go out early today, which we can't see that happening the entire day. That's a hard start.
Yeah, but it's these bridges, man. I mean, both of them were locked down pretty tightly for most of the game, right? So even EA having trouble coming on through. So I got to give them a little bit of leeway, a little bit of grace. Maybe next game will be a little bit better for them. But yeah, some crazy stuff coming in here. Arcred and them in the end just able to hold on a little bit longer and able to just get a couple more points on the board. But yeah, what a crazy finish coming in here. I love how Karia played it. I love how all of them played it really geeky as well, really able to move on through and get a lot of work done. Stop tappy.
I feel like we have to change these desks every day almost.
Dude,
they're just getting slammed all the time. Huge nade going into that shed of Flash. And actually, talking about Alliance and how they just got 1v4'd by one player, Loxy from Regnum. Maybe, just recommendation, when you want to push a shed, maybe have a nade or Molotov to force him out because he was using that door frame so well. I think it's not only just a great clutch from Loxy, I think Alliance felt way too overconfident and they just got shut down instantly. That was beautiful to see.
Yeah, as we take a look here at those rotations, Neptura, man. That sticky nade, by the way, from Safji Gike was just so good. But you can see them, they were hanging around in Novo. We got this southern military island circle. Look at Weibo going all the way up to Severny for so long, and then finally making that rotation down here, Neptura.
They did, and they used that the eastern bridge as well. I want to know how they even were able to cross it because that's some crazy rotations coming through here. Just able to slip on by past Flash, coming on through down to the side, and Geek as well. I really liked their 1-3 split going over onto the beach with Kevin, right? A really protective rotation coming here. A really nice split that they could protect themselves and also control the rest of the lobby from that beach side, make sure nobody came over. So really good stuff from them. But yeah, I think Weibo could have won it for sure had they not had the because Regnum technically were on the low ground, but it is going to be a Regnum win. 28 points on the board. They're running away with this.
Yeah, and Blank is even telling me in the chat right now, in the analyst chat, that they had, even for Regnum Kara, they had one pleasant anchor point on Sovnovka itself. So that just facilitates, not only facilitates the transition, it helps you pull it off so much faster. So Regnum Kara really having a lot of like just observation hacky to the max in this game, knowing it was going to be heading to Military Island. And yeah, again, this is more way aligned with my initial expectations of Regnum Kara, though DK, that's such a good hilltop position to the eastern edge right Niptro this game. And teams tried to wrestle it away from them, such as Weibo and Virtus Pro, but if you're going to fight it, send it. Commit to the fight. I feel like they just got then like, okay, we can stay here, but guess what? You're in range. Bye-bye.
It's such the case, isn't it? Like, it's always this thing of you either move, you either stop early, or you go full send. You don't stop in the middle. Never stop in the middle. It's never good for you. As we see Loxy, of course, going to be the MVP. There's no way he can't be, right? 6 eliminations, 4 of those to get the win. The 1v4 coming in clutch here. MVP. And what a player who deserves it, right? Like, you can't get better than that.
Let's take a look at the overalls, and oh my goodness, look at Regnum Kara. I mean, yeah, because we talked about it right before this game started. Influence Rage had 68, right? Regnum Kara had 48. That was a 24-point difference. Influence Rage put up nothing. They put up 28, and Regnum Kara jump up to the top 3 here, Neptura.
Yes, Regnum Kara finally. I mean, I know we came out of the gate going, hey, this is exactly what we wanted to see from Regnum Kara, but 24 points, I was like, yeah, it's one good game, but in the very next game to go from, we need 24 points, we're going to get 28. Easy peasy, let's just do it. Top 3, and I will say Influence Rage out of the top 3 for the first time in Group Red, right? So not Regnum grabbed their own spot. They also knocked down a team that's been very, very consistent so far. So GG Regnum, they must be feeling so good after that one. Hopefully they can keep this consistency up, and they're not too far away for #1 spot.
Yeah, we're talking about Regnum a lot, but I feel like it's kind of deserved after such a strong performance. But to go on a little bit more of a negative here, it's going to be the Virtus Pro. I think that push onto EK was just... I don't like going harsh on my wording, but it was so poorly executed. You just go in a position that's unplayable. Aragon just getting absolutely smacked in the head the moment he gets onto that rock next to the hilltop.
Yeah.
And they were initiating that ascent right after such a good Rondo match, Niptura. And then you just follow it up with this game. Yeah. Are they going to be able to leave the bottom 5 after these back-to-back performances? I'm like, I don't know. They're so inconsistent.
Yeah, and that's not something we expect from them at all, right? It's the consistency that we've been really counting on from a team like Virtus Pro. But yeah, I think it's just they got a little bit nervous maybe. They didn't want to go the full send route. It was the only play they could have made if they wanted to go in that direction. They had to full send it. They just stopped short, and that stopping short is what sends you back to the lobby instantly, as we saw. And also Burmese Ghouls did the exact same thing, which blows my mind because I'm going off the back of a win that was well executed. You come into here, you see VP do a bad play in a bad spot, and then you do the exact same play in the exact spot.
That was pretty cool.
That's some big brain stuff right there. I'm confused.
It was definitely an oddity. I don't know why they did it, Burmese Ghouls, but you know what? It happens, and I'm sure they're going to be learning from that mistake this time around, Hot Jukes.
Yeah, that's for sure. For me, Virtus Pro's like they're out of the conversation with that push that I saw earlier. I was so upset. I mean, I think they're just having so much difficulty just adapting to this lobby, and all they got to do is just play it so much slower. Like you don't get the middle of the zone, and you just drive in to just get obliterated. Just play the edge, right? Let the gun skill do the talking. We know they got it. I don't know if they can make that change, though. I think it's a little bit too late at this point, especially with how we're seeing these top teams perform. By the way, we got to talk about Geekay as well. They jump up the leaderboards in a big fashion. They were in 10th place with 38 points. With this performance, they're now in 7th with 57. So a good chicken dinner for many of these teams in the 4th place. Pretty much all down to 10th. But, man, that point gap drops off big time right when it gets to 11th, Ventura.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it? It's going to be interesting to see. I think it's based on yesterday's point sponging that was going on from like the top 3 teams just getting everybody. That's why we're seeing such a big gap now. Today is really the day now that Influence Rage in the last 2 games haven't done that much, and also EA Flash as well. Flash and EA have been slightly more consistent, and being at the top of the leaderboard consistently here. But for the bottom teams, I think now today we're starting to see maybe a little bit more of a chance for them to come up, just adjust, move in, move out, and move their teams out of their space as well. I think it's just really that presence that is missing here, because Geekay were able to take up a lot of space in their zone. So was Regnum Karya as well in this last game, and I think that's really the difference between them and say maybe a WBG in that game or an Alliance in that game, who kept to themselves a lot more. I think it's really where you spread out in those end games, Max, that presence is what we're needing if they really want to get points.
Yeah, I mean, you want to try and make as far in the game as you possibly can. And talking about late game, Niptura, I'm going to talk about a team that unfortunately has not been reaching the late game at all today, and that's been True Rippers. And I know in the chat there's a ton of people supporting True Rippers, and the main issue with True Rippers is the lack of scouting on their early rotations. Yes. They just send, like, Rondo was just a straight up hot drop. Like, there's no scouting can be done at that point. But for this bridge, they just sent it hoping no one was going to be there. But when you have a Sovnovka Island, you're always going to have teams setting up a bridge camp against you. And even if there isn't, you should always scout just in case there is one team doing that. So True Rippers, more emphasis on scouting, gathering information around you to make sure you can avoid those early skirmishes, because they just don't help you in the long run. If you lose it, guess what? That's a 0-point game that we just witnessed. So True Rippers, we need to see a step up here in the early stage.
Well, you know what? We need to see a little bit more from Geekay as well. We got the 7WG down on the stage there with Ragnarok. Let's see what they got to say.
Welcome to a quick report with the 7WG. I'm joined by Ragnarok from Geekade. Even though they didn't get the win, they put up an amazing performance. I want to talk about the aggression that we're seeing so far from you guys today. Yesterday, you had 18 eliminations after 6 matches. This match alone, you had 14 elims. What clicked for you? Because even from the get-go, you were able to take down TRX at the start.
شنو الفرق بين البارحة واليوم؟ البارحة 18 اليوم كله اليوم 20 شنو تغير بين البارحة واليوم؟
صراحة امبارح يعني كنا لسه شوي مش مكتسبين الثقة لأنه كان الأداء شوي سيء بس إن شاء الله اليوم يعني غيرنا أسلوب اللعب كنا نعتمد أكثر على السنتر اليوم حاولنا نلعب بالإدج أكثر وهذا الشيء حصلنا إقصاءات أكثر من أول.
He said that honestly yesterday we came in not feeling so well because we're still a little bit nervous from our performance in the gauntlet. And we're also changing our play style. We don't want to play more in the center, we want to go more on the edge side of the map and try to play that more.
Okay, well, I'm hoping that's going to continue to happen for you. Now, are we going to continue to see this type of aggression from Geekade today?
حظلهم بهذا المستوى من الاجريشن ولا لا؟
ان شاء الله يعني راح نحاول نسوي اللي بدنا اياه وحسب كل جيم شو بتطلب يعني كل جيم مو كل جيم نقدر نلعب بنفس الطريقه بنحاول نتأقلم مع كل جيم بجيمه.
He said we're hoping to be more aggressive as well, but each game is different. In some of the games we are going to have to play a little bit more defensive, and adapt to it. But the overall plan is to be as aggressive as possible.
Okay, and going back to the first answer that you gave me, with the quick switch of styles that you guys are doing, is there any team that you're seeing as a threat or as a rival?
انت ما زال غيرت البلاي ستايل في اي فريق تدور عليه تقول هذا فريق يمكن يهاجمنا او يسبب لنا مشاكل؟
صراحة كل الفرق هون قوية يعني مش لوبي ضعيف فكل الفرق بالنسبة لنا نفس الشيء ويعني أكثر فريق ممكن إنه بيحاوطنا أو بيلعب نفس طريقة لعبنا هي أرينا ممكن بس هم الوحيدين يعني.
And he said that honestly all the teams here are a threat, all of them are dangerous, causing us problems, but there's one team that's the most similar play style or the most threatening, we would say it's E-Arena.
Okay, well, hey, one of the teams that is top 3 right now, I'm pretty sure that's where you guys are currently aiming to be in day 2. Let's see if they can continue on that aggression for the rest of the day.
Good answer. I like it. There from Ragnarok. I mean, E-Arena definitely a threat in this lobby for sure. But the answer that stood out to me the most, right, was the fact that, yeah, they were nervous. I mean, who wouldn't be after having a rough gauntlet? But they said, you know what, let's change the play style. Let's start playing that edge max, man. And it's working for them. They're not just driving to the center and seeing what's happening in the middle of a gunfight. No, they're playing the edge and making it happen.
Yeah, it's just a solid gameplay. The thing is, I don't have anything bad to say about Geekade, and I don't have anything to be like, wow, this is an insane team. It's just like, right now, it's consistent, it's average, it's good to be middle of the pack. But you always need that little bit extra, Hodgix, if you want to be a team to be maybe in the top 3, because last chance, I'm telling you, you don't want to go there. You need to be top 2 or you're going home. So I think the Geekade right now, I want to see a massive elimination win. That would be the thing that would be like, okay, Geekade, there's hope. They can make it happen. They can maybe qualify for the grand finals.
Well, they're 19 points away from that 3rd place spot. So they're going to definitely need to get some eliminations here and now in the 2nd Erangel of the day. John and Blank, how many eliminations do you think Geekade are going to get?
I'd say probably 6 or 7, 6, 7, you know, something like that. What do you think, Blank?
Yeah, maybe like 8, 9. What do you think, John?
No. 6, 7.
9 or 10?
Yeah. Absolutely.
11, 12.
Oh, yeah. We just love counting. From that south side of the Sosovka military base, we are heading up to the north side on the plane path for our second go around Erangel. The analyst desk is fuming right now, but they are just going to have to grin and bear it because I've got the mic.
Yeah, you like officially on status, bro. You know, because that like kind of means on call, right? On call. You're on call.
Sorry, I was busy coughing just then. What did you say?
Playing back from the south to the north side. Got a shooting range, a little bit of a different one this time around, slightly less egregious than our last playing path. For Regnum Kai, actually, this is so good for them after the back of that last game. Just because now they can really play a slow game. Because everyone else is playing really slow. But the difficulty is getting those big points and sort of having to manipulate the games to go in your favor has been really difficult. For Regnum Kaya, that win is so imperative to get at this point in time. that now allows them to sort of just play a much easier game, get those consistent points. This is difficult, very Western playing path to a sudden hard shift on the circle over towards the eastern side means a lot of teams need to get moving early. For True Rippers, great start for them, starting in Milta. They drop down towards the south side anyway, towards Farm. They have a fairly consistent rotation path here. Boston able to find tops there from the Flash over towards the north side. It's a good start for VP. VP is, I think that this team bows it out sometimes. I'm not a huge fan of it. Like, they're very good at the game. They've got great gun skill. Some of their rotates are good. And then some points of the game, you just see them play, and then they'll just go off and make a weird maneuver that was totally unnecessary. Just like who we've got on our screen. Mr. Hero himself, who was actually a villain.
Oh? No, surely not.
Look, he's been banished to the north side of Savannah.
Yeah, you don't get to play with the rest of it. No, he is still closer. But I mean, I really desperately want to know what happened. I mean, Hot Jukes highlighted it before as well, right? With it must have been that he thought it was a smoke. Like that's the only reasonable explanation for what he did. Because it's bad. That's just really bad.
Yeah, even then, Sook was already smoked. So, yeah, it makes exactly. It just kind of makes no sense. I think there's already 2 smokes down. So, why send the? I think it was a whiff. I think it was just a whiff. I think he went to put it away, and then he's turning around. As he turns around, he throws the grenade, and it looks so intentional when it's just a big mistake. But it is a mistake that costs him a lot of points off the back of what was an incredible rotate. The rotates at the moment, fantastic from Weibo. Their late game, on the other hand, there's something left to be desired there.
It's discoordinated, a bit broken, it seems, on that front. And they could have been on the points tally where Regnum Kaya is, with a good game, with a good transition at the end of that. They absolutely could have been up in 3rd place. But for now, not so lucky. They're now 16 points behind. East side circle over towards the mansion area, the north of prison, will be a lot of open ground there. You've got that lumberyard hilltop as well to the south, the Asfields out to the west. Currently, no one is in Lipovka. Virtus Pro, they're trying to change that by the looks of things, but they might actually divert and play more out in the open field, since it looks like they are maybe not fully looted here, actually. No, Voston doesn't even have a vest or a helmet, so they will need to stop off and grab some loot. Wouldn't be too surprised to see them ending up in Lipovka.
I mean, Virtus Pro is the case of they just went from an okay position, sort of split off around on that north side, and since then they have just been rotating, as have a lot of other teams. Regnum Kai is going to make that pass from Rozak over towards the eastern side. Much easier rotate for them now, considering OG isn't in the lobby, playing around just towards their south, and Arcred doesn't rotate quite as quick as OG here. So I think for Regnum Kai, they definitely afforded a lot more space in Group Red to play around with here on Erangel. You're right. VP immediately over towards Lipovka with 2 players, playing that split over towards the north side as well. So getting a lot of loot on board. Many other teams who dropped far over towards the west have not even considered moving early. There's no real reason to. It wasn't like they were going to get a central position anyway, so they're happier just to play the edge.
And it might work out. We'll have to wait and see. Arcred, 4 players in a vehicle. In minute 5, you got to be joking. Surely there's been another vehicle that you could have taken. By this point, it's a bit criminal, especially on this sort of... There's a buggy right there. Come on. Surely you've got it. Okay, fine. Right, okay. I'm slightly less... They could have put... Okay, it's the back seat. Fine. It's still 3 in a vehicle. What have they been doing this whole time? If they only have 1 vehicle up to this point.
Rotating?
I'm mad. I'm big mad about it.
Yeah, I can see that. Okay, garage is free. So to pick themselves up a nice, shiny car. Which one of these players, potentially in this group, might be able to pick up for themselves? Sweet little Porsche towards the end of things.
There we go. All right. my nerves have been calmed. They have split into several different vehicles rather than all sitting in the same one. The fact that Twisted Minds were so close to them as well, all in the same vehicle, must have been absolutely terrifying, right? Like you spot that and you think, oh nuts, we're going to be absolutely ripped to shreds here. But they do manage to split out. They find that extra buggy. They get to the garage. So it's okay. It's okay. I'm chilling a little bit more. Well, they've been rotating up on that north side. DRX, ooh, it's a little camouflaged hay bale there in the way. Need to regain some speed. Pop that stim so you don't stay below that max HP. And another little bobble on the ground. Catches them unawares. Having a terrible time out in the fields there.
Yeah, it's not easy. Not easy sometimes. We're both going to make their rotate down from the northern edge. It's just to the west of the coast. So it's on top of where VP is currently playing, just the west of DRX right now, as you can see. I think this is an okay place to start, especially when you don't really know where zone 2 is either. You just pick up the L block there, and it's fairly easy for the rest of the game for you as Weibo. Yes, there could be some big shifts on the circle there, but because, again, most of the teams are stuck out on that western side, I think Weibo's quite happy with this rotation they've been able to grab, which sits them on the eastern side of the circle, where they should know there's plenty more space to rotate around in.
I mean, they have got a couple of teams close to the center, but it is difficult to move in a little bit further south at the moment. You do need that scouting on board, although you expect them to be aware of their surroundings. The Regnum Kaya split right now between Heaven and further down towards south on the compound that oversees the dips to the west, or one of the compounds rather. We'll see if that's going to be favorable. If they can hold that split, I mean, holding Heaven as a split, I feel like is very, very bold. And we'll see if they're able to do so, because it goes kind of dead center onto that Regnum Kaya split. Keeps Twisted Minds in it as well. A difficult compound to hold, to get out of. A little bit easier to hold. I'm just waiting for this regroup for Regnum Kaya, because I feel like the teams in the north are just going to blitz that northern side.
Yeah, I think that you'd be right to say that. I mean, for Regnum Kaya to regroup potentially at some point, you might be safe enough to hold it for another zone or two if you're really lucky, just because so many teams are going to be crunched on that outside edge. I think also Regnum Kaya's slightly safe, where they're assuming a lot of teams aren't going to crash these locations. As long as they take shots and they send players off, I don't think there's a lot of teams that want to crash in stage 3 or 4 at the moment in this lobby, which leaves them very safe. And I'd love to be proved wrong. On that aspect, I'd love to be proved wrong.
Well,
and I'm already getting slightly proven wrong, but even then, I think that's like last-ditch attempt there for the Flash.
They've still got 2 more players up towards the As fields. They did just try and send it. And I mean, it goes back maybe to what you were saying earlier, Blank, towards the start of the day, how this lobby feels a little bit timorous sometimes, a little bit timid, and that's what maybe Regnum Kaya are banking on, because right now nobody is crashing them, but there are crashes and they're happening onto Weibo, and they are holding off very, very effectively against Nuclear Zone. 33Z hears that pin pulled and immediately repositions. What a clean hold coming through from Weibo. Getting bogged down in this compound is often a death sentence, so the fact that they're able to clean that one out nice and quickly, nice and efficiently, is brilliant.
Hey, Hero threw a good grenade there. That was nice. I know. I personally think that a lot of the crashes that we're seeing come through are born not out of a decision, but out of desperation. I think a lot of the crashes are like, we have to go for this spot, we don't have much choice. Instead of, we'll take this spot because it's good and we're confident we win that fight. I don't think there's a lot of that going on. And I think that's the main thing that is sad for me, especially for a group stage, PMGC. Yeah, like you say, it's just a bit of a timid lobby. There's definitely a few exceptions to that rule, but because it is so timid, like again, Regnum Kaya is just forced to play a slower game. It's taken them a day or so to kind of figure that out. But again, taking this 2-2 split, it's the smartest thing they can do here, where they know that teams, if they crash them, they're likely a 2 or 3 man squad, and they're happy to hold that off from those positions. And just like that, they own such a large amount of the zone. I mean, Silas even rotating out here, that's a bit much. But I think they're so confident people aren't going to make the move.
I mean, yeah, it's definitely not the sort of play you could be making over towards finals, probably not even back in the gauntlet either, to hold this much ground. But Silas rotating out was pretty bold, but with this circle, hard southwest shift, it might just pay off. He's a little bit ahead of the game when it comes to scouting out that west side, and they might need to crunch further in.
Yeah, Regnum, Kaya, over on the northern edge. We are heading down towards farm area. Dip's still involved, which is currently held by Arcred, Geekate, and then Borzov to the north of it. VP were able to move around prison, which is very much a big old point of interest here on this circle, just because over towards Lumberyard as well, you have this high ground that sort of cuts teams in half in terms of their rotation of where they want to go. It's not easy, definitely not easy to play. Alliance is either forced to head on towards the north side into open ground, or they swing down towards the south. But True Rippers has got that angle covered right now.
I'm calling it now. It's going to be a heal-off final zone with someone up top and someone underneath in the shelter. I think that's what's going to happen. Yeah, I'm calling it right now. Right here in stage 3. It's 100%. Guaranteed. The only time
you gotta stop saying it's guaranteed when you
we've only ever seen 1-0 elimination chicken dinner, and that happened on it was on Sandhawk back in the day when we still had that as a map in the rotation with one player down in cave. I loved it.
Yeah, he's playing in this lobby right now.
I know.
Who is it?
Huh?
Who is it?
It's the Virtus Pro Boys, isn't it?
But which one?
Oh, I can't remember which one. Definitely one of them.
Oh, you've been found wanting. It was
no. Hang on a minute. Was it? Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Well, there we go. Let's see if we can do it again.
Let's see. Over towards the north side is DRX coming down from Mansion. Again, pretty open zone, so they'll have to kind of transition round. They could play west side of the road, which is a little bit of a lip to play off the back of. It's not ideal, though, because the circle's likely to move off that position, but it will give them some safety into the future. I'll tell you what, right now, it's not looking enjoyable playing down towards the south.
No, it's... pretty crammed, pretty difficult sight lines to stay away from. But the center's not looking too favorable either. I mean, it is a lot of open ground around this shelter area. Those entrances really providing a lot of cover for those teams. But look at the crashes starting to come through. I mean, 2 players crashing in for the Burmese Schools, and we're coming back up to the northeast. Oh dear. Make up your mind, Mr. Circle. Oh, they just can't figure it out. Twisted Mind's very happy about this. In their compound, they should feel pretty good with themselves. A nade around the side, but it's the shot from Godspeed to be able to land over towards Bose. And that's a flush immediately. The nade's over towards Win, not going to find their way through. Who's hocking those ones over then? Is that Geekate? Is that the back lines of Geekate putting more nades in?
It feels like an overinvestment. I feel like they could just clear the angle potentially as a 2-man, but I mean, you're walking so close to this. Yeah, finally. Yeah, they did, by the way. You're right. Finally, it's got done. I think it was like 8 or 9 grenades sent that way. Just a lot to be sending in. DRX rocking up over towards Influence Rage. For them, this is a big pickup. It's a very big pickup. Sadly, there is a lot of other players all taking shots down towards this position. Goodness me, that's a terrifying noise to be hearing. For Twisted Minds, this is a big chance for them. A big chance for their region as well to do them proud. I think there was a lot of hopes riding on Twisted Minds in terms of them as a team. Freak and Lord rejoining at PMGC is a really cool sight to see for me. But I want to see them go a little bit further than that. Honestly, right now, down at 24 points is not where I expected them to finish.
No, it's below par. It is below par. It's not a happy time. But this is PMGC. You know, these are the best in the world at what they do. It's not always easy to find your way through, even if you are the best in your region. With previous showings, with previous experience, it's a new game every year. And you need to be adaptable to it. At the moment, it doesn't seem like they're quite up to that task. On the north side of this circle, there's a lot of open ground. And maybe VP could stretch out towards it, but Alliance kind of have the run out from prison all the way up covered. And Regnum Kaya have sort of been the slowest team to move from the north to the hard southwest shift, but that's now benefited them because of this this back shift from the circle, moving all the way back out to those fields. It's made life a little bit tricky for a lot of our teams here.
Especially down towards the south side. Like I said, around prison, like it's that slope that comes down. You can see right here on screen, which, you know, so beautifully displays it for us. But True Rippers sort of wanted them to push down a little bit sooner off the back of this. E-Arena's got very good sightlines on this one. See ETSH just like flying around in circles, attempting to not get shot at. It's like, I'm sorry, I've got some bad news for you. This is so open.
Oh no, oh no. Oh,
it doesn't help driving back and forth. You're still open sightlines. Oh, dear me.
They are absolutely getting battered on that south side. I mean, maybe they'll find a way through, maybe not. Hey, there's a little bit of a knock over towards E-Arena coming through from the Burmese Ghouls, who are crunching in the west side of things. Weibo right now with the northernmost shelter entrance hold. They are feeling pretty good about themselves. They're watching all of this happen. They know they're potentially going to be able to pick up all the pieces from this as well and fight on from that position on the south edge, which is not a terrible spot to be in at all if you can get rid of all these teams to your south. And that is the big challenge here. Arcred, they want to start. This is a flex out, a solo position, and the nades do find their way down.
He's able to hit a full-on strike with that one. Might even get the knock and the flush. But not meant to be is Safji's able to saddle his way round some cover. Himself picked back up again. Is Weibo on the other side as a four-man, attempting to not nade each other this game. The Burmese Ghouls do make their way up into a shelter of their own. It's very much on the edge of the circle. You see just how disgusting a lot of this map is, where you have 6 teams all in one location. We're heading over towards Museum here. The RX already losing a player. The slightly late smoke, commiseration smoke, let's say. An Alliance once again being put to bed by Regnum Kaya.
Now on the northern side, a big crash from Alliance over towards Regnum Kaya, and it does not go their way. They pick up all of those. I think they managed to keep everyone alive there as well. On the hold, we're taking shots every which way though, and it's really E-Arena on that south side who are going to have the majority of the focus on them. They've got 2 players left standing as ETSH finally fall. E-Arena, Geeke, both going low. There's more Molotovs, more nades coming through, and Easy for Bad Boy is putting such a pinch on this fight. It is made so difficult. And again, it's Weibo who are just profiting off of this. They're holding everyone out on that south edge. True Rippers finally slide on past and might actually be into a bit of a winner here. If they can keep things going, the Burmese Ghouls have to send down into the trenches. Dirty K with the shotgun challenge, and his teammate not going to be able to find it. Sorry, what teammate? It's True Rippers teammates who are going to be falling there. Virtus Pro chiming in, Arcred as well. Goodness me. Dirty K just about clinging on there.
I mean, Virtus Pro was very selective the way they dealt with that one and left 30k to live another day and just sent all the shots over towards True Rippers. And that's the angle from that eastern side. I mean, this is the best thing that Virtus Pro can do here. Now, here's a prediction, though, is that the next few minutes, Virtus Pro is going to make a big crash and die.
Okay, all right, well, where are they going to crash? I think is the bigger prediction, right? I think that you could definitely say that True Rippers cannot deal with 30k today. Oh no, Jelly able to shut it down, but there's that Voston pickoff on the backlines. They do take all of the True Rippers out of action. 30k falls as well, so E-Arena drawn short. Regnum Kaya on the hunt for their first place spot. A little bit of ascendancy at the start of today with 2 Erengols back-to-back on big games potential for a big points tally earned by Regnum Kaya. As the circle shifts away from them, though. And this might be the time to crash towards Twisted Minds, or do you wait a little bit later and try and go out to the fields?
And for Twisted Minds, the only difficulty is the DRX is on the south side, so if Regnum Kaya did want to try and crash over towards the north side of it, they could potentially get something done there, but it looks like they're going to try and wrap around towards the east here, John, instead. At least 2 of the players sent out as outposts. Milky Way, do they see the vehicle? Is the vehicle hidden? Because as soon as they see the vehicle, they'll probably know a player is there.
Milky Way on the move. Virtus Pro, they haven't gone for their crash yet. I'm still waiting for it. They're sort of slowly pushing into that fight on the south side to have an impact, but what more they can do. Hot Red, I mean, they've been flexing out down here for so long, and they want like, oh no, we need more elims for this. Come on, Easy for Bad Boy went down. We need some value. Let's get stuck in. And they're waiting, to their credit, they are waiting. Oh, here comes the first pro crash. Blank, they're going into Weibo on that northern shelter hold. Let's see if they succeed. Are they going to prove you wrong? Because a lot of damage already done. Sook and Order immediately falling here. Hero as well. But Virtus Pro, they're getting torn up from some which way. I think that's the Burmese Ghouls. 2 of their players are down as well. Now it's up to 33Z to hold down his team as Milky Way lights up the ground for. Maybe he's going to send downstairs to go for that heal off after all, but no. Has to stop because there's a Molotov in the way. Virtus Pro, it's not a full wipe, and they might actually get the reset.
Yeah, it's not horrendous. They do get some points off the back of that. Now the rest of the team is looking to push downstairs. They did get themselves back up into position. The nade goes long. It's not enough. Luckily, Hero attempts to get one down. Will pick up the point for his troubles. And there is a reset available there for Virtus Pro.
Not with the Burmese Ghouls pressure on, though. They actually fell in behind them, and Virtus Pro are downstairs, picking up players, trying to get out of there. Arcred all the while are suffering. They tried to get stuck into the fight. They've only got 4 elims for it right now, Blank, as Weibo have been displaced from this northern side. It is a scrabble for the spot. Burmese Ghouls want to go a little bit further in. Let's see what more they can do, but on the outside, Regnum Kaya did go for the fields. They're playing a 2-2 split again.
Yeah, fair enough. They're just controlling a lot of the zone. They really are controlling a lot of the zone. I think that they can see that Twisted Minds is so unwilling to leave that outpost and get anything done. I feel like if you were Twisted Minds, you'd look to try and clear DRX a little bit sooner and then control where Regnum Kaya was coming in from. Instead, now, Regnum Kaya just has a absolute freebie of a lobby, and still Twisted Minds are doing nothing.
A little bit passive from them. DRX are on the wall, but Virtus Pro, anything but passive. Burmese Ghouls cannot get through them. And they're still down in the tunnels here, Blank. Regnum Kaya actually have now transitioned all the way down south. They are sat atop the pack. And it's going to go well for them. They're just going to keep everybody in. I mean, maybe they don't really have too much of a choice against the last player from Arcred. But that is what you're looking for. Across the way, I think DRX going down does mean Twisted Minds might find the confidence to get out of there. But Zedwolf just has the angle.
He's going to keep spraying as well. There's no reason not to keep spraying this angle. He loves to get that pick off there. If you can weaken the museum team, their end game becomes so much more simple. And they can continue to sweep. This might be the back-to-back hit for Regnum Kaya. I think they may have cracked the code, John. Good preemptive nade over to Saf G, actually.
Pretty huge. Hardboy did take some shots over towards them before, so they're aware of his position. And to get out of there, yeah, it's not going to happen. You're just not going to be able to find it. On the downstairs, the man himself does emerge into the light of day. The Rekt and Kaya are ready to greet them. However, maybe they regret that. They didn't need to step too far forward. Zedwolf goes very, very low, but Wild is holding his nerve, moves in, and there's a refrag coming on through, though, for Voston, who stays alive and gets two. Elims pouring on into the Virtus Pro bank right now. He's the last player alive, and Rekt and Kaya are getting ruined on the run out from Virtus Pro. They had it all under control, but it's gone to pot now, and Wild cannot find Voston out in the open. It's Twisted Minds who are going to be able to pick this one up.
Foster was so hungry for the elims there, dude. He was so hungry for the elims. We'll pick a couple. I think Wild was slightly far away trying to set up the nade. The nade comes through slightly late for Rekt and Kaya. Now, Twisted Minds technically should win this game, but they've got really no utility to speak of.
Ooh, you're right. And I mean, they've lost their forward position as well. Everybody else is so split, though, right? With Silas completely split from Wild, they're essentially two solos. But Silas does have a much more central position. If the circle shifts south, I mean, sure, they got the numbers, but they're only really three in effect, right? Because Walsh, very inaccessible. Voston and Wild, their duel is still going. As Voston has the Molotov, Wild will be forced back by the buggy. Voston trying to spray, but steps up into the sight lines of Twisted Minds. Can't afford to go for it, but Wild takes the bullets too. And now Silas is all alone. Virtus Pro will turn the tables.
Yeah, it's Shudo actually getting that shot over towards Wild from Twisted Minds. Silas wasn't quite able to hold that angle. Good shot towards Freak to start things off, but I think Voston should be coming through with the backstab very soon.
Not quite.
Oh,
got
he
the
sets
vehicle
himself
cover
up behind it. Smart.
A move out for Walsh is interesting there. Silas dips down, maybe looking for the push out further. Voston on high, doesn't stop the res onto Walsh, but he doesn't need to, because Lord decided, you know what? I'm actually just going to go and fight this instead. I'm not going to go for the res. Twisted Minds, I mean, no utility is really, really rough, and he goes for the shots underneath. Voston, the Jewel Meister, looks for more, but Lord is able to do what Wild could not there. Virtus Pro, 12 elims, though. It's as good as we've seen them, and they'll be happy with that. Up into top three, though, for Arcred, who he's been chilling behind this rock for a long time.
Yeah, can Arcred do something? Anything would be great at this point. He's going to have to move. I think he has had an angle onto Chudo at some point during this game. Oh, Silas isn't investing in the first aid kit. Also some bandages. Finally looking for something. Come on, hard boy. This is your chance. It's a free. That's a free shot. It's a free shot.
He doesn't want it. He's waiting for a better deal. I mean, Silas is closest to the center of everyone here by a hair, but other players are going to have to move slightly before him.
It's all down to gun skill because there is no nades. And now we're in zone 9. It's a big task ahead here for Silas. Hardboy will have to move out into open ground. Maybe a little bit of a distraction here for Silas, potentially.
I think Tudor might be very preoccupied with Silas and might not spot him. Oh, he doesn't know. He's complete broadside. Step up, go for the spray. Hardboy doesn't connect, though, and now the Tudor answered. Not quite. Silas could go for it, though, and find Hardboy. It's a 1v1v1 out in the open, and Silas puts them up to 12. He's slightly more central, and Lord has to push towards him. Oh, this is a nightmare for Twisted Minds. Silas might be able to do it, but no. Lord is closer to the center here. Silas will have to move first. He has to step up. This is going to be an impossible challenge. Surely Silas can't do this.
Oh, he just has to hit the shots. It's the thing. But he won't be able to do it, and Twisted Minds will able to be finishing out this game. But what a messy ending that was. A lack of control there from Twisted Minds, in my opinion.
Second place, though, with 12 elims at the end there, Blank. That is a brilliant back-to-back performance from Rekt and Kaya. But you're right. Twisted Minds, no presence, really no aura in that game, and they needed it. Unfortunately, for everyone else, it was just a little bit too good of a position.
Yeah, very nice there from Rekt and Kaya overall. Like I said, Silas in a extremely fun little end game. For Hardboy, gives me with guys shaking at the end there with the amount of adrenaline going through him. That spray was awkward. I had to even go for the full spray reset to get it done. But yeah, for Twisted Minds, I wanted to see a little bit more out of them there. They do get the win after all. For some teams, that's all that's needed to get that confidence back on board. It's like you got to get the old shoelaces done. That is important. But yeah, I do think that game in particular, VP do a very good job as well to get some more points. It was much more convincing from VP that game overall, which I was happy with.
Well, they do close it down from the museum. They're able to put everyone else down in the dirt, but only just for Twisted Minds.
And Twisted Minds finally secure their first chicken dinner for this PMGC. This squad was all the way down in 13th place. I gotta say, I mean, it looked a little shaky there for a second, Max, man, but this was a huge, huge win for the squad.
I mean, they had so much control and they gave it up, and because of that, they lost a lot of their forces, a lot of their players in the process. And luckily enough, there was Lord. He was able to redeem it in this game versus Silas. That 1v1, I'm telling you, the high ground is not there, or Silas has a single smoke Niptura. Maybe that win doesn't quite go the way of Twisted Minds, and maybe we'd be looking at a Regnum back-to-back chicken dinner. But Twisted Minds, I like that they were trying to do as much as they did in this finishing play, but there is a limit that 4 players can do, and I feel like here they bit down almost more than they can actually chew.
Yeah, I think it really just came down to not really being able to have those angles covered by their teammates, right? But they do get it in the end, and they were able to just get that win. That's exactly what they needed right now. You know, they were sitting in the bottom 5, not really sure what to do next. And this game, hopefully, is going to be the turning point for them, the game that gets them that springboard effect to just move on and do better things in the next game.
Yeah. I mean, you know, Lord and Freak in particular, absolute OGs, right, from the MENA region. They're going to be over the moon after to finally get themselves this chicken dinner. And, you know, they were at the bottom of the rankings, Hot Juke. So getting this win, actually, I do wonder how high are they truly going to stand on the rankings after this?
That's what I'll say. This is a huge, huge win for the squad. I mean, they were in a big threat-like position. They were all the way down in 13th, so this is going to definitely put them in a shot here, right, for getting into that last chance. So a good win. You know, they did take that museum spot. That circle there was pretty wild, you know, but we're seeing some pretty crazy plays here. Not to mention Regnum Karia. Just so many eliminations in this game, Max, man. They got to be pushing themselves up even higher in the leaderboards from the last game.
I mean, Regnum Karia getting eliminations or Wild getting eliminations? I think
That's true. Yeah.
He was like, what, 7, 8 eliminations this game? He was on fire. He was learning from his teammate from earlier on that previous chicken dinner on our angle. So very nice stuff indeed. DRX, though, big send right onto this area on Museum, sharing it with the likes of Twisted Minds. And I was actually surprised, Niptro, that Twisted Minds were willing to kind of share that wall with DRX. I thought they would just nail them to hell and just take that position for themselves.
I kind of like it, though, to be honest, because it meant that they were not going to attack themselves, right? I think there was a lot of teams on all sides that meant DRX couldn't really make a move, and Twisted were allowing that to happen just because it meant safety for themselves. They knew DRX were kind of stuck there. Other teams weren't going to really try and do much and push when they knew 2 teams were there, so actually DRX's position meant that they were able to keep relatively safe, but a lot of emotions going on here. It's a good thing they won, because goodness me, there's a lot of pressure on them.
Yeah. I mean, Voston, how the hell was he able to sneak out of shelter? He just came around and just got rid of most of Regnum Karia on his lonesome. Really good stuff from him in particular. But I don't know how he got through. He just disappeared and reappeared, and boom, 1v2. Easily secured for this guy as you go through the rotations. And I want us to all pay attention here to how Regnum Karia played their early to mid-game transition in particular. So, of course, Regnum Karia usually playing Rozok, early transition, circle not too far away, quick pivot, and they go for this amazing 2-2 split with 2 players in heaven on the northern side and 2 players going into the southern compound. There's just literally one building and a few walls around it. And this gives them 100% vision on what the hell is happening on the northern edge of the circle, which then enables them to go for the best rotation possible. Regrouping, they've seen all the fights that were happening on the southern edge, and they go for this wide eastern rotation next to Shelter Niptra. I think that was literally the best macro rotation we saw the entire match from Regnum Kara this game.
Yeah, it was really, really well played, and well played because it was really well thought out. They had the information necessary to make that play work for them, and then sending Silas center just in case, right, was actually what gave them the almost win, right? Some really, really good stuff from them. Really forward-thinking gameplay from them, and look at the points it gets them, Jukes. 18 on the board to come right a 28-point game. I mean, it's nearly over 40 points that they've gotten in just 2 games.
That's it. Regnum Karya, they've downloaded the lobby. They have downloaded the technology for sure. The update is installed and ready to go. I mean, they didn't win the chicken dinner and still got the most points in this game, Max. And you can just tell by the way they're playing this. I think they've just understood, okay, this lobby is a lot slower than before, you know?
Yeah.
All we got to do is just take our time, pick our positions, and let our gun skill do the talking. And man, they're making it happen there.
The timing at which they take fights, in particular, Hodgix, is just so good. That fight on Shelter was timed beautifully. The fight is happening. There's Weibo, there's Virtus Pro. The teams are deep inside of Shelter. They're like, hey, you can't fight back. That's when we're going to push and engage you. And that timing was A-OK from this squad. Here we go, though. MVP is Lord. And it's good to see Niptra, Lord, finally, you know, on an MVP graphic. It's been a while. But you know what? He's building back that team synergy, and he's finally back on board here for PMGC.
Yeah, it's really, really nice to see them back on where we expected them to be. Hopefully this is going to be just the game, the start of their next journey forward into that maybe top 3, you know, still could be done here as we look at the overalls. And I am looking at Twisted. They are in the top 11 now, but Regnum Karya straight to the top. EA, after 8-9 matches, have finally been dethroned. And it is Regnum Karya, Max.
Lock it in. Lock it in. Regnum Karya in first place, looking mighty fine here going into the second half of this tournament. Guys, we're going to be right back after this short break. Get your popcorn, get your drinks, and we'll be back in a minute.
galiba.
Alo. Anneciğim ne yapıyorsun?
Anneciğim. İyiyim bebeğim. Sen ne yapıyorsun?
İyi ben de çok iyiyim valla. Maçları izledin mi?
Oo izleme ben olur mu? Ben krizleri geçirdim benim burada. Bana 2'ye çıktınız, ikinci oldunuz, geri 3'e düştünüz, geri 2'ye çıktınız. Ben krizi geçiriyordum yani o sıra. Neyse mutluyum anne. O da diyorum ya, 3 gün formayla takıldım.
Valla.
3 gün formayla gezdim. İş yerinde de ben de mi? Resmi atıyorum ya iş formadan.
İş yerinde de formayla yani şey yaptın değil mi? Formayla gittin.
Evet, evet.
İyi sen ne yapıyorsun?
İyiyim anneciğim. Özledim seni, sadece seni özledim.
Ben de seni özledim valla.
Aradım, akşam bakmadım hayırlı olsun demek için.
Uyumuşum bir de uyuyakalmışım.
Ben de dedim kutlamaya mı gittiler, ne yaptılar?
Öyle işte.
Tamam anneciğim.
Tamam.
Seni seviyorum, öpüyorum.
Ben de seni seviyorum öptüm hadi.
Hadi arkadaşlarına çok çok selam söyle.
Aleykümselam.
Yok annem canın sağlığı. Bunları da tebrik ettiğimi söyle, ilet hepsine tek tek.
Tamam aleykümselam. Onların da selam var sana.
Tamam aleykümselam anneciğim, hadi görüşürüz.
Hadi görüşürüz öptüm bay bay.
Welcome back to the halfway mark of day 2 of Group Red. I got none other than Boston from Virtus Pro with me. This is a team that you guys came in as champions of CSA, what made it considered to be one of the hardest regions in the world, honestly, for PUBG Mobile Esports. You fell short in the gauntlet, and in Group Red, day 1, you definitely fell short. In day 2, there seems to be a bit of a resurgence from the squad. What's been the underlying issue for VP?
Так, Бостон, вы пришли в этот турнир как чемпионы ПМСЛ Центральная и Южная Азия, что является одним из сильнейших регионов, и не справились с Gauntlet стейджем, а сейчас испытываете немного трудностей в групповой стадии. Как ты думаешь, какие причины вашей команды?
Ну, в целом, Gauntlet Stage для нас задался сначала... Ну, первый день был неплохой, остальные дни нам просто не везло. Мы делали мувы, играли не командно. Мы разобрали, зашли в Group Stage, но также испытывали трудности. Вот. Сейчас команда чувствует себя отлично, мы провели разбор. Вот. Ну, мы просто в целом устали. Перед ПМСЛ у нас была очень плотная подготовка. Перед ПМГЦ также очень плотная подготовка была. Сейчас мы выдохнули и с новыми силами на второй день зашли, показываем, я считаю, нашу игру. И то, что если мы не камбэкнем в топ-3, то на лошасе мы будем бороться за 2 слота.
So we just a little bit burned out after the gauntlet because we got a hard schedule before the PMGC and also before the PMSL. And now we talked with our teams after the gauntlet what we're gonna do in group stage, and if we will fail to be on top 3, we'll try our best in the last chance. So it's because we're just a little bit tired and we just burned out, so now everything is okay. We're gonna do our best.
That's fair. There's a lot of factors that go when you go to such a big event like PMGC, the biggest one we have of the year as well. And you were talking about wanting to be in top 3, or if you fell from top 3. Well, I got some stats for you. You are currently 39 points away from third place and 11 points, or just actually 1 point away from 11th place. What is the team looking to do with 9 matches remaining of Group Red to make sure that you get to third place?
До третьего места, до топ-3 у вас 39 всего лишь поинтов осталось, а до того, чтобы спуститься, 11 поинтов. Какие планы на последние 9 матчей у вас? Может, вы поменяете общий подход или игровой стиль?
Мы будем также продолжать, как мы будем также продолжать играть хорошо, как вот эти первые 3 игры. Мы делаем все отлично по карте, все понимаем, все друг друга хорошо себя чувствуют. Все у нас хорошо. Мы будем также продолжать хорошо просто играть, и все. Такие вот планы.
We will try as first 3 matches today, continue to dominate, and we'll do our best and try to continue as first 3 matches. Yeah.
Okay, you're gonna try to continue what you were able to do in the first intermatch as well. We already had a resurgence from a PMSL champion like Rangnam Karya.